Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Goso TV. My name is davidTrig, and I am your joy and anxiety mentor. Welcome. Today I want to talk to you about how to go from trauma to joy in 10 minutes, especially in the area of thinking that you're going to die. You ever see something on your body and you think, this is it? Now I'm really going to die. This is hereditary. This is a disease. You go online and you find proof that that spot that you have, or that bump on your leg, or that thing that you feel inside is definitely deadly. You are certainly going to die. And not just in like 20 years or in 5 years. You're going to die today. It's funny to say, but when you're in the middle of that panic mode, it's as serious as can be. You literally feel like your life is ending. And no matter what people say, no matter what your family says, no matter what you might even want to believe, you are convinced that this is it. Anxiety loves data. And it especially loves data that confirms what it already believes. It's what we like to call brain lock. So what I want to do today is to give you some tips so that you can go from that trauma into a place of joy, and that you can actually relax your mind so that you can see things clearly and not be overwhelmed by that feeling that takes over your mind. So the first thing that I want to tell you is to describe to you what's happening in your brain when you're in that place of panic. And so I have a graphic that I want to use to explain to you what's happening when your brain is on fire or en fuego. Number one is you have been triggered. In other words, that spot that you see, that dizziness in your head, that bump on your leg is the trigger that has entered your mind. It may have entered your mind visually. You saw something on your body. It may be something that you heard. You heard that somebody died in a certain way, and so therefore you absorb that into your mind, into your body. You may have seen something online where you read something that you are certain connects to you. And so that trigger has entered your mind. Now, what happens is after that trigger has entered your mind, now it goes to the second stage, which is the trauma, or what we call your en fuego. In other words, that trigger connects you back to something traumatic in your life. In a matter of seconds, I would say milliseconds, maybe nanoseconds, you are now in a place of trauma that goes back to something in your past. It's no longer that bump on your leg. It's no longer that thing you read online. Now it has moved to a catastrophe, to a place of doom and gloom. And that doom and gloom is because of something traumatic in your childhood, something that happened maybe as an adult. And then the third leg of this first triangle is that you then act out. In other words, you panic. You get that brain lock. You become severely anxious. That could mean that you begin to sweat profusely. You begin to panic and pace around the house. You maybe become very excitable, or maybe even angry or violent. You act out in ways that aren't usual to you, except when you're in this cycle. You might even go to some addictions, sexual addictions, overeating, being angry at your kids. You're basically making you and others miserable. And if you don't believe me, ask those closest to you. But I know that you understand. And I know this is in some ways light-hearted right now because we're not in that moment. But when you are in that place, you know exactly how serious this can be. And so that's the first triangle. The second triangle is the one that you need to think about when you're in these moments. And this is what can help you go from trauma to joy in 10 minutes or less.